Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The reason I'm here is that I haven't just been to Everest, but I have been to 33 countries in the world discussing how cities can become more resilient. And in my company, Arup, I had a team of 800 people working on low-carbon city planning. And I concluded that people were understanding which way to go, but couldn't make it happen because the public sector and the private sector were constrained by their existing narrow constraints. So I created a trust, a charity, to step into that space and to try and help take things forward. So today I'm going to describe the trust. I'm going to describe what we're going to do in terms of what I regard as the biggest opportunity is systems collaboration between all of these different ideas to create demonstration regions as places where the world can learn how to make these changes happen. In my visit to 33 countries, the one thing I learned was that we need a factor 4 innovation in developed countries in terms of resource productivity, and we've really only got 10 to 15 years to get onto that track through systems innovation. The fact that I would like to share with you in terms of metrics is 100 years ago we had about 8 hectares of land per person to support our life for energy, water, food and absorbing waste. We now only have 2 hectares each on average across the world because of population growth, and already in Russia you're living with an average of 4 hectares per person. Now in China, which has had the biggest growth of consumption, the ecological footprint, so-called, has grown at 4% a year. With 1.3 billion people and a footprint of 2.3 hectares, that requires China to find 100 million hectares of new land every year to support their urbanization. That is an area twice the size of France. China knows that this cannot go on because inflation will kill that model, and is trying to find a model of closing loops, exactly as Harold and others have described. And that's the model that we're trying to demonstrate. And at the same time, food production is now beginning to fall. Obviously, fertilizers helped us keep up with population growth, but food production per capita is now going down, and we have to reverse that too, as others have said. This is a diagram that came from working on ecological performance cities in China, and the detail doesn't matter, but here is a closed-loop system linking energy, people, resources, and urban and rural systems together. So one of my big messages is that Moscow should consider itself together with its hinterland in terms of integrating energy, water, food, nutrients, and systems together. And as Gandhi said, there's no point in running fast unless you're running in the right direction. And the only way I believe in finding a direction quickly is to create models that enable us to find that way. So in creating the Ecological Sequestration Trust, I decided if we brought together the world's leading scientists, economists, engineers, businesses, financiers, ecologists, lawyers, and we focused them in on 1 or 2 demonstration regions of the world using advanced modeling, we could show the world how to move forward in a better way. And at the heart of this idea is the creation of integrated modeling tools, and what we're now doing is creating an agent-based integrated resource and economics model that can be used by any region of the world. And this will be the first model of its kind ever produced in the world, and it will model everything under the ground, everything at ground level, agent activities, natural resource system activities, the resource flows, the pipes and wires and the materials flowing through them, and will automatically link to the climate model so that one can then test new scenarios for changing land use and other patterns. And in terms of health, one idea here is that the model will show us how by improving air quality, water quality, nutrition and mobility patterns, we can improve health by actually making it a healthier place for people to live, as well as the other healthcare benefits. When we took this idea to India, one of the demonstration regions, they said, well, how do we use it? And we came up with them with the idea of an independent regional collaboratory, which is like a campus in which the model can be accessed. And the model is built with data provided by the local stakeholders in a region. So the model is owned by the region and can then be used by them to innovate and look at the aggregation of resources and waste that are available in the region. And bringing together international companies with new technologies can genuinely demonstrate quickly a profound and economically beneficial direction. And this is what we're now planning to do. So the regions that we've chosen are in India, China, and Africa. At the moment, we're targeting the city of Kigali in Rwanda with the support of President Kagame. In China, we've reached an agreement with the Chongming Island area, about 1,500 square kilometers of the city of Shanghai. And the agreement there is for this to be an ecological development demonstrator for China. And we will be involved in the creation of an innovation park for technologies in China and internationally to be brought together to demonstrate new business models, particularly of collaboration between energy, water, waste, food production, rather than distinctly new technologies. And that's where we think the fast innovation will happen and where business models can actually develop. We also have now have an agreement with the city of Surat in India to move forward with that region to do the same thing, and Chief Minister Modi and the local city are supporting this. And the city of Surat has one of the largest industrial complexes in India, so we'll be able to look at how an industrial complex and a city and agriculture and forestry and water can all work together. So I'm going to finish with just a brief snapshot of the sort of technologies that we're likely to deploy in these regions. So improved water management strategies, improvement for recycling and drip feed irrigation of agriculture, development of storage lakes and wetlands, and all of that creating new jobs and better health and lower risk from flooding. Integrated utility systems, including combined heat and power, anaerobic digestion, biomass, water treatment, and so on, very familiar things. Energy efficient retrofit for industrial plants, and bringing urban ecology into cities to actually cool them and increase biodiversity and improve mental health. New ecological developments, low carbon, ecologically efficient development projects to demonstrate that they're possible, using smart grids linked to new smart appliances and electric vehicles, industrial symbiosis of bringing resources together, and experimenting with closed-loop manufacturing systems like cradle-to-cradle products. Waste management, reducing landfill, upcycling waste into new fashion products. Mobility systems, more walking, more cycling, better management of freight deliveries, and electric vehicle distribution systems in cities. Carbon capture at power stations, as has already been mentioned. Smart agricultural practice, which is something that Harold and his team have been experimenting with all over the world. Forestry, eco-forestry, agroforestry techniques, which are all very well known, and urban agriculture. In Japan, urban agriculture is more productive than rural agriculture. And finally, the outreach from these demonstration regions will be to support education programs around sustainability using e-learning techniques, so that we can spread the knowledge as quickly as possible from these demonstrators. And here we are in India with the Indian Institute for Human Settlements discussing what a world-class city in India would be in 2050 using some of these ideas and techniques. So in finishing, we don't have a demonstration region in Russia, but if you wanted to propose a demonstration region so Russian businesses could cooperate using this model to really experiment on how to move forward, then I'd be delighted to talk to you. Thank you.